Japan's parliament elected Sanae Takaichi as the nation's 101st prime minister, making her the first woman to ever hold the office. Takaichi, a high-profile conservative and protege of the late Shinzo Abe, is known as one of the country's most prominent nationalist hardliners. The election sent immediate shockwaves across East Asia. Japanese stocks, Nikkei, dipped on fears of regional instability, while China and South Korea's state media denounced her as an ultra-nationalist. Domestically, her rise signals a dramatic shift away from decades of pacifism. Takaichi is now expected to push aggressively to revise Japan's pacifist constitution, allowing for a full-scale offensive military. Expect immediate increases in defense spending and heightened tensions around Taiwan and the South China Sea, forcing a new military dynamic with the US and China. The US government officially entered a full shutdown this week after Congress failed to pass a spending bill. All non-essential federal services are suspended, and hundreds of thousands of federal employees have been furloughed, meaning they are sent home without pay. Global markets reacted with immediate volatility, fearing the shutdown signals a new era of political instability. The US dollar weakened against major currencies, and economists warned that a prolonged shutdown could shave billions off US GDP growth and disrupt global supply chains. This is no longer a budget dispute, it's a political hostage situation. Expect brinkmanship in Washington to intensify. The key risk is not the shutdown itself, but that it could trigger a default on US debt. The White House must now choose between massive concessions or a deepening economic crisis. A catastrophic failure at Amazon Web Services, AWS, triggered a massive global internet outage. The US East 1 region, the backbone of the internet, went dark for hours, taking down thousands of major services including Netflix, major banks, airlines, and several AI platforms. The outage caused immediate economic chaos, with estimates placing the cost at billions of dollars per hour. It exposed a critical vulnerability. The entire global economy is dangerously centralized and reliant on a single company's infrastructure. Stocks for companies reliant on AWS plunged in after-hours trading. This event triggers urgent calls for decentralization and regulation. Expect governments to launch national security investigations into critical infrastructure risks. Rival cloud providers like Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud will benefit as companies are now forced to adopt multi-cloud strategies to avoid a future total collapse. The NBA was rocked by its largest scandal in history as the FBI arrested multiple individuals, including veteran referee Scott Foster and player Jontay Porter, in a massive illegal gambling and game-fixing investigation. Trend data shows names like Chauncey Billups and Scott Foster exploding globally. The league's credibility is in freefall. All official betting partnerships have been suspended, causing sportsbook stocks like DraftKings and FanDuel to crash. Fans are now questioning the legitimacy of recent games, and the scandal threatens to erase billions from the NBA's brand value. Expect a purge within the NBA, with more arrests and suspensions to come. This scandal will force a complete re-evaluation of the relationship between professional sports and the multi-billion-dollar gambling industry. The league may be forced to ban all gambling relationships to restore trust. The art world is in shock after a brazen, Mission Impossible-style robbery at the Louvre Museum in Paris. A highly sophisticated team bypassed security and stole a collection of priceless artifacts from the Galerie d'Apollon. The Mona Lisa is secure, but several key Renaissance pieces are gone. The robbery has triggered a global security crisis for all major cultural institutions. Interpol has launched a worldwide manhunt, and Paris faces intense embarrassment over the security failure. The incident raises fears that these items are already in the hands of a private, untraceable collector. Expect a complete overhaul of museum security technology worldwide, incorporating AI-driven threat detection. The black market for art will be monitored intensely. This event may force major museums to permanently remove their most valuable items from public display, changing how we experience history. China's Communist Party concluded its critical fourth plenum meeting in Beijing. While shrouded in secrecy, the meeting sets the five-year policy direction for the world's second-largest economy, focusing on technological self-reliance and national security. Global markets are nervous about the emphasis on self-reliance, which signals China decoupling further from the West. Tech and semiconductor companies reliant on Chinese manufacturing face new risks. Militarily, the focus on security is being interpreted as a more aggressive stance on Taiwan. Expect China to accelerate its state-funded technology programs to compete with US AI. Diplomatically, this signals preparation for a long-term economic conflict. The key phrase to watch from this meeting is new productive forces, which is code for a state-led industrial dominance plan. In a discovery that captured the public's imagination, NASA confirmed Earth has a new quasi-moon. The object, a small asteroid named 2025 PN7, is not gravitationally bound like our moon, but it shares Earth's orbit around the Sun in a complex dance, making it a temporary companion. The discovery has no immediate impact or danger, but it has created a massive surge in public interest in astronomy. For scientists, it provides a rare, close-range opportunity to study a pristine asteroid that has been captured in a co-orbital state with our planet. This quasi-moon is now a prime target for future robotic missions. Expect space agencies to study its trajectory to see if it's a fragment of our own moon. It's an accessible stepping stone for testing deep space asteroid intercept technologies. Tropical storm. Melissa is intensifying over the extremely warm waters of the Caribbean and is forecast to become a major hurricane. Hurricane watches are in effect for Haiti and Jamaica as the storm moves slowly, threatening days of catastrophic flooding and mudslides. The storm's slow movement is its biggest threat, allowing it to dump disastrous amounts of rain, 20 to 30 inches, on mountainous terrain in Haiti, leading to fears of a major humanitarian crisis. Oil and gas markets are also watching nervously, as the storm's future path could target the Gulf of Mexico. The immediate future is a life-threatening flood event for the Caribbean. By early next week, models show Melissa strengthening into a Category 4 or 5 monster as it moves north. The entire U.S. East Coast and the Bahamas are now on high alert for a major impact. A massive nationwide recall has been issued for over 140,000 bottles of Atorvastatin, the generic form of Lipitor, one of the world's most prescribed cholesterol drugs. The recall was initiated due to failed dissolution specifications, meaning the drug may not be absorbed properly by the body. The recall has sparked confusion and concern among millions of patients who rely on the drug daily to manage cardiovascular risk. This failure lowers the drug's efficacy, potentially increasing the risk of heart attack or stroke for users. It also severely damages trust in the generic drug supply chain. Expect sweeping lawsuits and a major FDA investigation into the manufacturer, Alkem Laboratories. This crisis will force a global change in how generic drug quality is tested post-production, leading to stricter oversight of overseas manufacturing plants. Meta announced it is laying off 600 employees from its Meta Superintelligence Labs. CHEM SL. The cuts target legacy AI researchers and engineers as Meta's new chief AI officer restructures the division to be leaner and faster in the race for superintelligence. The move sent a shockwave through the AI research community. It signals that even the highly paid, specialized talent building AI is not safe from job cuts. Meta's stock surged as investors cheered the aggressive cost-cutting, despite the company simultaneously spending billions to hire new AI talent. This is the AI talent war in action. Companies are not just hiring, they are purging old teams to replace them with newer, more expensive talent from rivals like OpenAI. Expect a brutal consolidation of talent where only the top 1% of AI researchers remain employed in a high-stakes, high-pressure environment. And that's the world for this week. The story never stops. We'll be here to analyze what happens next.